Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy
They
there.
got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican please, Service Levy.
That's literally not true.
Oh, for crumb's sake.
Is that correct?
I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
All right, welcome back. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. We have had just a jam-packed day, emotionally heavy, sometimes bizarre, just a crazy day in court. One of those days it's like the Super Bowl of true crime, everything happening at the same time with two just absolutely wild sentencing hearings. One for Bryan Kohberger, which was in completion today. We had the whole thing. And the other for Mr. Neely, who we'll get back to, which has gone just crazy off the rails as well. That's going to continue through tomorrow. We're going to catch up on that one. Talking about Bryan Kohberger today, we have the link from the Moscow Police Department. We have downloaded the documents that they promised they would post and make available to everybody free of charge. This is the first time they're being seen by a lot of people. It is. Let's see. I've got documents 1, or I guess 0, because it's got a narrative. 1 through 314 so far is what is available for those that are curious. I've got them downloaded here. The website right now, apparently under a heavy load, appears to be crashing. So it might be a bit before you can access those on the website, but we do have them being loaded up on the Discord, not my Discord, but a good friend of our channel runs that Discord, manages that. That's as the gavel drops. If you want to go over and join there and see what is happening and see these for yourself, you can do that. There's a lot to pour through. Some of this has not been known. These are details that were redacted from other documents that we did have. Just new stuff around. We've already covered previously on our last live stream a couple of the officers, the first responding officers to the crime scene, and what they found, what happened, what reports were shared by individuals who were there, and we're going to continue in that. So let me go ahead and open up our next document in the list as we go down through this list of reports. I'm still in the first of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 folders full of documents. There are 50 in this one. We just finished, reading the report that was provided by one of the first responding officers, Mr. Mitch Nunez, which was document number, what's the number here? 3. So we'll go on to 4 now. These are redacted. Some of the names are missing. Some of the names we can actually fill in based on what we know. I'm not going to be doing that here for this purpose. It would just be a little harder to do that. But this next document we're going to right here is, there I am. Can you see me? Yep, you do. Okay, this is going to be Ryan Snyder, Police Department report. Initial response and canvas interviews. Photos burned to a CD and booked into evidence, so those are going to be available at some point through a FOIA request, I imagine. On about 11/13/22, at about 1200 hours, I responded to 1122 King Road for the report of an unresponsive subject. Upon my arrival, I noticed there were several college-age subjects out in front of the address. I was directed to use police caution tape to cordon off the crime scene. As I was working around the residence, I noticed the back door was open, and there were footprints in the snow coming from the back door coming from the back door on the back porch. Officer Smith took photos of these prints with a measuring tape. He watched the backyard area to make sure no one else came into the area. I noticed there were footprints that left toward the west of the backyard. This portion of the backyard is connected to 2 other residences, both addresses, both directly to the west. The footprints appear to lead west toward King Road between the residences, but I was unable to see where the footprints went after the yards connected due to the amount of rock landscaping. Sorry, I can't take a spam call right now. I also was unable to discern how old these prints were. There had not been recent snowfall. With Sergeant Gunderson, I entered the residence to continue taking photos of the scene. I entered through the bottom floor main door on the north side. I took photographs of the rooms and the living areas of the residence. The photos were downloaded onto a CD and booked into evidence. The photos were labeled in this report with a brief description of each photo. As I was down the road of the address near King Road and Queen Road intersection, I was approached by a college-age male who identified himself as Jay. He informed me he lived at blank King Road apartment. Jay, I assume, stated his blank lived upstairs at 1122 King Road, and they share a dog that was there currently. Jay did not appear to have any obvious wounds on his hands, as I would assume the suspect probably would. Officer Nunez was interviewing subjects about the situation. I asked Jay if he could wait outside Officer Nunez's police car so we could talk with him. He agreed to. I informed Sergeant Gunderson of the circumstances involving Jay. Jay later responded to the police department to be interviewed and then picked up the dog from the Moscow Humane Society shelter. I continued to canvass the area and speak with the neighbors at blank and blank Queen Road, who stated they did not hear or see anything relevant. I spoke with subjects at blank King Road. One resident, DL, stated that she was walking from home from the corner club at about 300 hours, 3 in the morning, and thought she could hear music or some type of noise, but she couldn't give any clarifying information more than that due to her level of intoxication that night. I spoke with subjects at blank King Road. The majority of them stated they were out drinking at the corner club and got a ride back to the residence about 1:30 hour in the morning and went to sleep about 2 a.m. They did not hear anything out of the ordinary. Blank King Road resident BP stated that about 4 o'clock in the morning he heard a dog bark coming from the east side of his residence. He believed it was the dog at 1122 King Road, as he thought that it was the only dog in the area. He stated the dog sounded like it was outside and was barking for about 45 minutes until he believed someone must have let it inside at about 4:45 when it stopped. B stated that he had a female with him in bed at the time who also heard the dog barking at this time. There's one way to corroborate your story. I spoke with the residents of blank King Road. PO informed me they had a camera facing the west of the address and they believed captures a portion of the road. They first provided me with the SIM card out of the camera. However, they could not get it to work, and neither could I. They gave me the username and password to the camera. I informed Detective Mowry of the information, and they gave me the permission to access the camera footage and record the necessary for surveillance video. I cleared the scene at about 17:49 hours. There's his photo log that he took. Front address, front east side, vehicles, parking lot, more back seats, driver seats, all the photos, lots in the yard. We go down to the bedroom, north side front door entryway, front door toward west, first floor room, front door toward first floor bathroom and stairs, first floor, second floor stairs, first floor bedroom, west side, 3 pictures there, first floor bathroom, first floor bedroom, east side and hallway, locked door, first floor bedroom, east side, 3 pictures, first floor to second floor stairs, second floor living room, second floor facing, or living room couch, second floor facing east. As you can see, they're documenting the whole thing. Kitchen knife on the beer pong table. We know that was picked up by one of the first responding individuals when they saw that there was trauma and they didn't know what was going on. The second floor, took a bunch of pictures there. We're going to see if we can get access to these pictures at some point. Some of them we might not get for obvious reasons. Second floor west bedroom, female victim. Second floor west bedroom, blood on floor. Second floor west bedroom, closet. Second floor west bedroom, female victim. Second floor west bedroom, male victim. Second floor west bedroom, foot of bed. Second floor west bedroom, male victim. Second floor west bedroom, female victim. Second floor west bedroom, table. West bedroom, female UI ID card. That's the University of Idaho ID card. Living room pong table, blood. Living room pong table, knife. There was blood on the living room pong table. Wow. Couch, more of the blood on the pong table. 2 third floor stairs, rear bedroom, stairwell to third floor, kitchen, utility closet, more kitchen, sink, a jar sliding glass door, a bunch of pictures outside, closets, 2 female victims in 1 picture. Just a lot of pictures. Then we've got all the vehicles that were in the area that he photographed, all the license plates, the addresses, medical mask outside King Road. That, considering the time. I don't know. That was an interesting fact. He photographed. I certify that these are all true and correct. That takes us to number 5. We might have to go a little faster through these as we're skimming for new information that has not been provided previously. This is going to be a report from A. Dollinger, who says that he responded at 12:53. So he's about an hour after the initial call on the scene. He shows up with Sergeant Gunderston and Sergeant Lawrence, who gave a brief overview. He says the state police were going to assist in the investigation and were organizing to respond to the scene. Sergeant Lawrence responded to the police department to begin interviews. A male approached the scene and began speaking with Sergeant Gunderson. The male identified as J.K. I overheard Jay state his daughter lived in 1122 King Road, and he had been trying to get in touch with her but was unsuccessful. Yeah. We heard from him today. It was also learned that daughter J.R. K was nearby the scene. I asked Jay if he and Jay could come to the police department to speak with me. Jay agreed, and I returned to the police department. I contacted Sergeant Lawrence at the police department, and he asked if he had the names of the victims. Sergeant Lawrence stated he did and gave me the list. I saw one of the victims' names was Xana Kernodle. I then met with Jay and Jay in the interview room off the police department lobby. Once in the room, I activated the audio and video recording equipment. I asked Jay and Jay for their information. They both handed me Arizona driver's licenses. After writing down their information, I asked Jay what the name of his other daughter was. Jay told me her name was Xana. I then informed Jay and Jay that Xana was identified as one of the victims. This has got to be so hard. And that she was deceased. Both Jay and Jay became very upset and were crying heavily. I asked Jay and Jay when the last time they communicated with Xana was. Jay stated she texted with Xana on 11/11 and at approximately 1700 hours, said that text messages were brief and not of any substance. Jay said he texted Xana on 11/11 at about 1540 hours, and she responded stating she was at work. Jay then told me he last spoke with Xana on the phone at 11:11 at approximately 2140 hours when they spoke about going to the WSU football game. I asked Jay where Xana worked, and he said at Mad Greek. I both asked Jay and Jay if Xana had mentioned anything about having any issues with anyone or anything strange occurring lately. Both said Xana had not said anything. They said Xana had a boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, who she had been dating for about 6 months or so. Jay said everything seemed fine with their relationship. Jay added how he had met Ethan's parents in passing this weekend. It should be noted, Jay was in town visiting as he resides in Avondale, Arizona, and it was Washington State University's parents' weekend. I asked Jay and Jay if there was anyone they wished me to contact for them or if they wished to speak with anyone such as a member of clergy. Both told me no. I gave them both my business card and informed them if our detectives would be in contact with them in the near future. They left the police department, and then they have an attached video recording of that interview where he informs them that their sister and daughter is dead. Next report. Aaron Morris. We might go quicker here. This is a narrative. He shows up at 1300 hours, so 2 hours later. At 1600 hours, I relieved Officer Rosinski. Was stationed for scene security, kept a log. And that's it. He just kept a log. There's nothing new in there as far as that's just police paperwork, basically, securing the scene, which was great. Now I could use the keyboard shortcut. See, I'm getting smarter. Now we have John Lawrence. Shows up at 1200 hours. Finds out there are multiple victims. Requested all available detectives. Detective Vargas was out of town. Told Detective Mowry he would be on his way. I called Idaho State Police Lieutenant Mike Mooney. He told him I needed assistance from Idaho State Police detectives in processing the crime scene. And they put me in touch with Sergeant Gilbertson. So this is part of the confusion. There were so many people involved at the beginning. I responded to the scene where I met Sergeant Gunderson. Let's see. He gives the background about the dispatch, about the unconscious person. I did a very brief walk through the residence. I entered the residence from the entrance on the north side of the building. Officer Warner was securing the scene, logged my entrance into the residence. I then went up to the stairs and located a deceased female on the floor and male in the bed of the west bedroom on the second floor. I climbed the stairs to the third floor and located 2 deceased females in the southeast bedroom. They were both in bed. I spoke with Officer Smith, who was securing the residence at the south entrance for a moment. Then I exited the residence through the north entrance. Officer Warner noted my departure. I called Sergeant Gilbertson and informed him of the additional information provided to me and what I had seen. I told him MPD would be needing their assistance. I also told Sergeant Gilbertson MPD had an officer writing an affidavit for a search warrant. He returns. Let's see, I requested they interview the other occupants of the residence where the deceased were located. There were also several friends of the deceased who had been with the deceased the night before and may have had information of their whereabouts or who they were with prior to the murders. Those interviews started about 13:48 hours. Those to be interviewed arrived at the PD about 13:30. I put them in the training room and provided them with drinks and snacks. Captain Lanier arrived and asked me how he could help. I requested he find officers that were not already tasked and complete a canvass of the neighborhood. Captain Lanier took care of the neighborhood canvassing. At about 14:23 hours, J.K. and Zay and the something Xana, I'm not sure what went there, arrived at the PD. He was informed of Xana's death by Captain Dellinger. Captain Barrett informed me Ethan Chapin's family had been notified of Ethan's death. Captain Barrett asked me to take care of the death notifications for Maddy Mogen and Kaylee Goncalves. Captain Barrett, the name's spelled wrong in there somewhere. Captain Barrett provided me with the information the university had on file for Mogen and Goncalves. There was no emergency contact information for either, so I called Kootenai County Dispatch due to Mogen and Goncalves' home address being in Kootenai County. I provided the KSSO, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office dispatcher, of the addresses listed in the University of Madison, Mogen and Kaylee Goncalves. She had the names listed as residents of the address provided by Kaylee. I requested death notifications for them. I was contacted by Deputy Mitch Jan of KSO of the Sheriff's Office. He asked what he could tell the parents, and I informed him we knew very little at this time. A short time later, Deputy Jan called me and told me that when he arrived to give the notifications, the parents were already aware. That means they found out through friends and family. I also provided Madison Mogen's address, and M was not able to locate anyone with the name Mogen at that address. They sent an officer to Coeur d'Alene to make contact. Short time later, Officer Matt Sakis requested I call him. When I made contact, he told me that the Mogens were driving to Moscow. Captain Barrett requested I interview them. Captain Barrett gave the death notification and requested I interview them. I spoke with S&K in the lobby of the interview room. They told me they had a great relationship with Madison. She got along with everyone. She had a strong relationship with her boyfriend, who lives in Boise, and that she had just gone to Boise to see him the weekend prior. Madison and Jay had been dating for about a year and a half, and Jay is from blank. I asked if there were any problems with the past boyfriends, and there were none to their knowledge. I asked if Madison had mentioned any stalking behavior from anyone or anyone that made her uncomfortable, and they said she never spoke of anything. The rest of my shift was spent allocating resources where they were needed. Allie B. Amazing. Says, I'm so proud of each and every person who gave a victim impact statement. The verse that comes to mind is Romans 5:3-5. He is truly a psychopath, sociopath, and demon. I pray the families can start healing now. Rest in peace, sweet angels, in the arms of our Heavenly Father. Keep shining. Allie B., thank you. Thank you for your kind message, and thank you for your support. Long time supporter of the channel. Thank you very much. I'm going to try to scan some of these faster because there's a lot here. This is John Rosinski. We're going to see what he did here that's pertinent to the case. Let's see. He tells I put on my police uniform. Received a call. I don't have a timestamp yet. He was on the scene for 2 hours, relieved somebody else. The following day, I learned that a sheath, here we go. The following day on 11/14, I learned that a sheath was found inside the apartment. The sheath was tan in color. He's talking about one of these right here. The sheath was tan in color and had a Marine Corps eagle, the globe, and an anchor. That's that symbol right there. If I can get this to focus right. Had the Marine Corps eagle, globe, and anchor, EGA symbol on the sheath. The words USMC were located under the globe. and the word K-bar, K-A-B-A-R, was above the EGA. I was asked to follow up with the businesses in town to see if that particular knife was sold there. I followed up with Tri-State Outfitters, Big Five Sporting Goods, Moscow Building Supply, Spence Hardware, and Walmart. Each of the above stores does not sell a K-bar brand knife. While at Walmart, I was speaking with staff member S, name listed on the tag, who was showing me the knives on display. She told me about 2 or 3 weeks ago, a white college-aged male asked for a black ski mask that would cover his face. She was unable to provide much detail other than that he was taller than she was and maybe had tan skin complexion. She advised, this is new stuff, she said she advised the male they did not have black ski masks and only camo. She said the male then walked away. On 11/14/2022, at about 11:45 hours, I spoke with PR at the Memorial Gym substation. R is currently the blank for the fraternity. I asked R if he could walk me through what he did on the night of 11/12/2022 and the early morning of 11/13. R said that about 18:30 on the 12th, he was at a party. R said the party was at the Tree House, which is an off-site campus house for the sorority. R did not know the specific address, but said the house is near the White's apartments. R said at the party he saw E.A., who was with E, boyfriend unknown, name maybe H. R said A was the only member of the blank that he recognized, probably the fraternity, at the party. R said he left around 2200 or 2300, so that's 10 or 11. R said he went back to blank and watched a movie with C, D, T, R, and K, S. R said he went to the corner club around 1:49 in the morning to pick up JG, JD, and NR. R said they were alone and not with anyone. R said he dropped the 3 above individuals off at their apartment at King Road. R said after he dropped them off, he went back home. That is number 8. This is going to take a week to go through. Aaron Morris has this report. These are all the police reports for this entire case, for as long as Moscow's been involved. Let's see. At 1100 hours on the 14th, this is after, I took note of who came and went to the scene. ISP entered the residence. People stood by at the scene, and it's all good. So that's just a crime scene log, important for evidence, but not informational for us. This is Jacob Tedeshel. This is November 12th at 2100 hours. I began an overtime shift for a plainclothes detail on the University of Idaho campus and related areas. This patrol was for minors and possession and consumption of alcohol, along with other alcohol drug offenses. During this patrol, I and the other officer with me, Officer Rosendahl, only had our body-worn cameras. We were operating out of the Moscow Police Department Ford Fusion, which I drove throughout the entire detail. This particular department vehicle did not have a dash camera or any other recording device. My street time conducting the plainclothes detail concluded at 3:52 hours on November 13th. During the detail, Officer Rosendahl and I made several patrols through the area of King Street and Queen Road. During each patrol of the area, we traveled on the north side of 500 Queen Road, heading east. We wrapped around the building, heading south on the east side, then west on the south side of the complex. We then traveled north on the west side, turned west onto Queen Road, and proceeded to King Street. During one of the patrols in this area, while approaching the southwest corner of 500 Queen Road, I recall seeing a darker colored vehicle with taillights on. This vehicle was parked facing south, on the south side of the parking lot towards the west end. There was a short section of the parking lot which extended to the west of 500 Queen Road, south of 1122 King Street, which was where the vehicle was. Each time we patrolled the area, I drove the same route. During the final patrol, which was to the best of my recollection was between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning on November 13th, as we traveled north on the west side of the apartment complex, I saw several individuals approaching the residence at 1122 King Street. During this detail, I was looking for alcoholic beverages, open alcoholic containers, and individuals who appeared to be intoxicated. I observed the individuals as I drove past, but did not see any reason to contact them for our related patrol. I recall my view of the individuals being obstructed by vehicles and brush on the east side of the parking lot for the address. The individuals were walking close to a vehicle which was parked in the northeast corner of the lot. As I turned onto Queen Road and traveled west, I continued to view the individuals. From my recollection, there were at least 2 individuals, possibly 3. I recall one of the individuals having blonde hair. I do not recall exactly how many individuals there were, what they were wearing, or any other details, as I quickly looked for beverages in their hands and whether they were staggering from intoxication. Since we made several patrols through the area, I cannot say with 100% confidence I saw the vehicle on the same pass as I saw the individuals. Upon review of my radio history, I contacted 3 individuals at blank Taylor Avenue about 2:55 hours. To the best of my recollection, this was after exiting King Street. After seeing the individuals at 1122 King Street, we cleared this contact at 0300. That's his. Okay. The Moscow PD site has crashed. Yes, it has. We've got the documents here. We're trying to read them to you as fast as we can. They need to upgrade their server. Thank you, Amber. Big shout out to Amber, who runs the Discord page where I've uploaded all the documents we have to her, and she's getting as fast as she can. She's putting those available if you want to peruse them yourself. Please go over there and check it out. They're amazing. Let's see. On the 14th at about 10:42 p.m., dispatch forwarded a call to my cell phone. My phone started to ring, but then it suddenly stopped. For some reason, the call was forwarded to voicemail before I could answer. When it came through, I learned it was from JS. The voicemail said, "Hey, how's it going? My name is JS. My phone number is blank. I just wanted to make a statement to you guys because I was close friends with Madison Mogen. I was with her at the corner club most of the night, and then after we left, we wanted to go to John's Alley, and stopped at Grub Truck. They got Grub Truck, then a car picked them up, and they left and went home. I just wanted to make a statement about unintelligible. I don't know if anything is helpful, but I was just like with them for a little bit, so if I can be of any help, I'd like to. Give me a call. Thank you." Shortly after I got the voicemail, S called dispatch again. I was successfully transferred to my phone. I talked to S on the phone. Essentially, he said the same thing he said on the voicemail. I said he was out with Maddie at the corner club until 2:30 in the morning. He said several times he didn't know who the other girl was, but that was with them that night. S described the girls getting into a silver sedan after they got food at the Grub Truck. I confirmed S's name, date of birth, address, and phone number. I also confirmed he drove to his parents' house in Boise. I asked how long he planned to be at his parents' house. He said he was skipping the next week of classes and would remain in Boise till after Thanksgiving break. S said he was willing to talk to a detective about his involvement with this case. He does not have a roommate at his Queen Road apartment, and he lives alone. I recorded a conversation with my dash and cam and body-worn camera. Videos were uploaded to WatchGuard's server, and there's a voice file as well. These are all the tips that start coming flooding in as this is going on. Sergeant Gunderson, or S. Gunderson, I'm not sure if it's Sergeant, responded on the 14th. I photographed and looked at the 3 dumpsters in the area. All 3 dumpsters were located on the street. I saw nothing of evidentiary value in the dumpsters. I photographed them and cleared the area. ISP later pulled the trash pursuant to this investigation, probably with a search warrant, or I guess they wouldn't need it out of a dumpster. Some blood was located on the second floor at blank Taylor Avenue. Taylor Avenue is commonly referred to as the Whites and is known as a party location. The blood was isolated to one area and with no trail to either area. I photographed the blood and was notified on-scene investigators. Officer House and I walked various areas throughout the crime scene looking for evidence. Officer House and I found nothing of evidentiary value. I don't think that blood was related to this. Katrina, thank you very much for the super chat. You're most generous. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm not sure if these are showing up on screen for you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Holy cow. Katrina, thank you very much. I apologize. And a massive, massive super chat from Allie B from Tennessee. Thank you. Thank you for that as well. You guys are absolutely amazing. All right, going on to where are we at? We're at 12, so we're going to be on 13. Roger Lanier gives this report. This is November 15th, so we're a couple days later. Is that still? There we go. Sorry, that was bugging me. At 9:30 in the morning, myself and Detective Mowry responded to the Corner Club, contacted the owner. We had a prearranged meeting to view video from the evening of November 12th to the early morning hours of November 13th. The purpose was to confirm that Madison Mogen and Kaylee Goncalves were at the Corner Club, as had been reported, and to try to identify individuals seen on the grub truck video later in the morning, specifically a male who appeared to be accompanying them. Upon arrival, they already had the video up on the screen, cued to the proper time frame. They were ready. Detective Mowry began scrolling through the video, which consisted of multiple views and multiple screens that were all in time sync. We determined that Goncalves and Mogen arrived at the Corner Club at 22:20, so that's 10:20 in the p.m. in a Prius-type vehicle with another unidentified female. The vehicle was determined to be an Uber vehicle, and the driver identified. The two mingle around the bar, but spend most of their time in the front along the bar next to the left end as you face the bar. They make occasional trips to the restroom and speak to several people as they mingle. At 0:22 hours, Kaylee paid her bar tab using her credit card, which consisted of 9 Well vodka and 2 Add Juice. Not sure. Somebody has to explain that to me. And they provided a copy of the receipt. Raina, thank you very much from Canada. Appreciate the super sticker. You are amazing. Thank you for your support. The next thing on this one is that approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, Kaylee engages in a conversation with a subject identified by bar staff as JS. So I think JS is his name, and the middle J is his nickname. S was seen with Goncalves and Mogen in the grub truck video later in the evening. This appeared to be consensual conversation. It appeared they knew each other. At 1:14 in the morning, Mogen joins in the conversation, and all three remain generally in the area of the bar near the wall. Nothing stood out during that time, and both appeared to know S. At 1:31, S paid his bar tab with his credit card, consisting of 5 can BTL and 2 kamikaze. After paying, he walked to the back of the bar, went into the restroom, came back out, retrieved his coat, and came back to an area near the exit where Goncalves and Mogen were waiting. S waited in the background while the girls finished conversing with others. Then they all exited the building at 1:37. The parking lot camera shows them walking away together across, then out of the parking lot in a westerly direction. They were all dressed the same in the grub truck video, with S wearing a white or very light colored hoodie with a brown coat over it. While reviewing the video, we also recognized JD, who was reported to be Goncalves' ex-boyfriend. We did not track his movements in the video, but he appeared to spend most of his time at the opposite end of the business, seated with several other males. At one point, there appeared to be a brief interaction with Goncalves that looked cordial and in passing. D left at 1:51 hours with 2 other males. Also noticed in the video was a subject seen in the grub truck video. I recognized him because of his unique sweater and long hair and beard. He was identified as HV by bar staff. He checked out at 00 hours, so midnight, using his credit card in the name of SV, showing 2 micro tub. I didn't notice any interaction between V and Goncalves or Mogen. The third subject who was seen in the grub truck video was also observed in the Corner Club, but we were not able to identify him. He's a stocky-build white male with brown hair and facial hair wearing a brownish sweater. I did not observe any interaction between him and Goncalves or Mogen. Because the video file was extremely large, Detective Mowry was unable to copy it to an external storage device. We left the business, and Detective Mowry is working on obtaining a usable copy of the video for a closer review. Danny Vargas. On the 14th, went to King Road with Sergeant Baker to observe the scene. I walked through the house and around the outside of the residence, along with other investigators looking for possible evidence. ISP investigators were on scene, walking through for a second time, looking for additional evidence. I walked around the south side of the house, up the hill and along the fence line. The backyard for Wallenta, I think Wallenta is the name. I asked for his permission to look through his backyard area, which he said I could. G told me that he was a person who previously called dispatch to provide information about what he observed. I told G, after looking over the area, that through the residence at King Road, I would come back and get a statement from him. I did not locate anything of interest in the backyard of Wallenta or on the hillside behind 1122 King Road. I walked into King Road, looked through the house with other investigators. The following 4 evidence items were collected by Idaho State Police inside 1122 King Road on the 14th and turned over to me on the scene. ISP took photos of the items and the places they were collected from. I booked the following items into evidence. A copy of the evidence receipt, property receipt relating to these items is attached. Exhibit 57, rolled $2 bill located on the desk in F2, bedroom 1. So floor 2, bedroom 1, northwest. Exhibit 58, blue powder, suspected drugs, located on the desk in F2, bedroom 1, northwest. Exhibit 59, blood sample, west wall, F2, living room. Exhibit 60, blood sample, F3, bedroom 2, northwest wall. I spoke with the following people who live at blank Wallenta. My conversations with S, G, M, and TM were recorded and are attached electronically in the case file. SG told me the following. He woke up a couple times Saturday night. He looked at the clock, saw it was 4:17 in the morning, and said after about 5 minutes of waking up, he heard a dog barking outside from the direction of 1122 King Road. G said he was still going in and out of sleep, and after about an hour, around 5 o'clock, he still heard the dog barking outside from the direction of King Road. G said his bedroom is on the far northeast side of the Wallenta and is closest to the backyard of King Road. G said there is motion light outside his window and said if it turned on, he would have noticed it. G told me he has lived in this residence since January and has not heard a dog barking outside before in the middle of the night. This is interesting. The door was open. The dog was in the house. It's possible the dog went out barking and then came back in. The dog was trying to get help. I next spoke with M. M told me on the 13th he woke up around 2:30 in the morning and left the house around 3 o'clock in the morning. M said he had an extended training day and it lasted about 12 hours. M said he finished his extended training day around 1800 hours, which is 6 p.m. at Buffalo Wild Wings, and arrived home at 1830 hours, half an hour later. M said he was approximately 20 fraternity members. He did not notice anyone who should not have been there, was not there. He did not notice anyone who should not have been there, was not there. That was a poorly written sentence, but he means he didn't see anyone out of place. M did not remember hearing anything in particular when he woke up or left around 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning. M did not hear the dog barking. I next spoke with TM. T told me that he did not hear a dog barking at any point. T said he had been out at the bars the evening of the 12th and got home around 2:30 in the morning. T said he sleeps with earplugs in. T said his sister, M, mentioned she saw Madison Mogen at some point at the corner club. T provided me with his sister's phone number. And that's the end of that one. On to Aaron Morris, police report dated the 15th of November. OF came to the Moscow PD substation to speak with Officer Rosinski and I regarding the incident possibly related to the homicide that occurred at 11:13. They stated on 12:21, an unidentified white male came into the women's center and asked to speak with someone. F spoke to the male. She stated that he asked for snacks and appeared to be under the influence. She stated the interaction only lasted about 5 minutes. F stated the male said he had a female friend who was in an abusive relationship. The male stated he was afraid the female would be hurt by her boyfriend and was also afraid he would hurt the boyfriend due to the abusive behavior. F did not gather any names and had never seen the male before. I asked both F and S if they had any contacts with any of the victims. They said they did not and did not have any of their contacts documented. On the 15th, at approximately 11:50 hours, AA came into the substation to speak with me. I was told by Captain Payne A went to Gritman on 11:13 to seek medical care for cuts on his hand. I asked A what happened to his hand. He stated that on 11:12, around 8 p.m., he cut his hand while attempting to cut chicken for a sandwich. A stated he was intoxicated when he was trying to cut the meat with his pocket knife. His pocket knife slipped out of his hand. Cut his hand. I asked when he went to the hospital. He read his wristband from the hospital and said he went at 11:13 at 1400 hours. A told me he lived at the blank house. The laceration was on his right hand. He sent me a photograph of the injury and I attached it to the case. I asked A if he knew any of the victims. He stated he had seen Ethan 2 times at parties but did not know any of the females. He said that the blank sister house, or the sorority sister house, was blank. He said it was a national standard, but he had friends from multiple sororities. A ran me through his weekend from Saturday morning. He stated he slept in Saturday morning, 11:12, and woke up around 9:30 in the morning. A said he went to the treehouse, which was outside located at Taylor Avenue. He said he spent the whole day there watching the game. He said he left the treehouse, and around 7:30 p.m., he went back to the blank Elm Street. He said he was drinking all night and finally went to bed on 11/13 at around 4 o'clock in the morning. A said he was with his friends, LM, CK, or maybe OK, all night. A provided me with M phone number. Officer Rosinski talked to M later at the house. M said that he and A were walking downstairs at the house when A missed a step and fell into the window. I'm guessing alcohol was a factor. M said that at the time neither he nor A saw any blood. M said A was cutting chicken when he saw the injury. According to M, A was extremely intoxicated and thought he cut his hand while cutting the chicken, but M believed he cut it on the glass. Probably very likely. A said he was willing to sign a consent form for medical records if we needed them. A said he could not remember if he cut his hand on the window or with the knife. A said his friends told him to go to the hospital to make sure there was not glass in his hand. I went with A to the house. He showed me the window they found broken. I photographed the window and attached it to the case. At 11:16, I responded to blank at blank Main Street. A person of interest, JS, lived at blank. L confirmed S lived at the unit alone. They said they did offer free internet service to tenants through CC. L said they could not see who used the service. I asked L if any of their tenants had tried to get out of their leases recently. They said no. They said S started his lease on 7/18. The employee remembered S because his father was adamant on getting him the apartment. I responded to CC to see if S utilized the internet service they provided. The employee gave me a paper with all the tenants from Queen Road that used it. S did not use the service. On the 16th, I was asked to follow up on individuals connected to victims or people of interest. The names provided were M, B, D, B, N, F, J, F, and C, and O, B. All the letters. I called the dean of the student's office for the numbers. I called B first, who stated he was at his home in Boise. B and F stated they lived together in Meridian. I passed the information to Captain Barrett. I also TLO'd F and B. Telephoned? I'm not sure what that TLO means. I got a number from F and called him. He provided his home address in Boise and said he was willing to speak with detectives. I forwarded that information, as well as a TLO of B, to Captain Payne and Barrett. On the 16th, a couple more people from the DOS office came to the Idaho substation. S stated that he had information regarding the homicide. S first stated that the DOS office had a debrief to check in on everyone. S said D's name was brought up. He said that he got it. He said it got him thinking because D had a recent care report put on him. On 11/3/2022, D emailed the DOS saying, had a few circumstances in my life that have substantially decreased my mental health. On 11/4, S called D. S said D seemed distant, distracted, and sad. He also brought up the grub truck video. He said he was guessing, but he believed it was D following the victims and hovering around them. S also said after finding out what had happened, D was more concerned with his dog. I thanked S for the information. I asked H if he was able to provide the care reports for D. They referenced. H said they did not seem hugely concerning, but would attempt to gather them. So you can see there are a ton of reports that are coming in that people think might be relevant and aren't. I saw something suspicious. A weird guy came into my work. This person, seems a little bit off. The police have to sort through all of these, and this time they have no idea. They've got nothing to go on, basically. Early in the investigation. This is from John Lawrence. These are phone tips that came in on the 15th. He says, when I arrived at work, I had several voicemails on my desk phone. I began reviewing the voicemails. Most of the voicemails were tips on the current homicide investigation. Many of the tips were about the live feed from the grub truck. Throughout the day, I fielded several calls from people with possible information they believed may have been important to the investigation. I received calls from A. A told me she was at the corner club with two of the victims, Madison and Kaylee. Katie is what he says, but he spelled it wrong. The night prior to the murders, she told me there was a college-age male known by Madison. A told me the male was wearing a black and white flannel shirt with a black shirt underneath that had writing in white letters that said antisocial. A told me the college-age male, who had been identified as O.B., was acting creepy. She said he was not engaging people in conversation and he was just staring at the girls in the group she was with. A told me B had been grabbing girls by the butt and being handsy. A said she confronted B and told him to stop touching girls inappropriately or she would have him kicked out of the bar. At one point, Madison introduced her, A, to B and told her she knew him. A said that she let her guard down a little when it came to B and was later told by Madison that she only knew B through class and a group project in which they had worked on together. A said a short time later, B was kicked out of the bar. Not surprised there. Tickled Pink Music, thank you for the super sticker. GG, thank you very much. I've got a little bit of water. I'm going to be drinking it. B has been admitted. B, welcome. Thanks for hitting the subscribe button. He was kicked out of the bar. A short time later, I took a call from DJ. Jay told me that he works at the blank. Jay said he has a regular customer by the name of GP who comes in almost every day. Jay said P makes everyone feel insecure because of the way he acts and the dark things he says. Jay told me P lives in the area of the homicides. I looked up P, name's number, in Spillman. The Spillman is their police records tool that's on their laptops in their cars, and it shows an address at Conestoga. P has numerous involvements with MPD over the past 2 decades, some of which relate to possible mental health issues. Ashley, thank you very much. Another wonderful super sticker. Very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Where's this next one? I think I might have too many documents open. Let's close a few of them, shall we? These are the ones we've read already. Okay. This is Justin Dean's police report. All these are officers. So on November 15th at 12:48, so just after noon, I spoke with the blank president, RH, about the residents. I asked H if she knew the people who lived at the house. H said yes. She said they were a close group of friends who primarily hung out with themselves. I asked H if she ever went to parties at the house. H said she did a couple of times, but the parties were small. She said the roommates were a pretty tight group who didn't throw big parties. I asked if she knew about any drug use or sales from their house. H said she thought Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin may have used cocaine, but nothing big, and no one sold drugs. I asked her if she knew whether there were larger quantities of drugs kept to the residence. H said no. H then told me she was at the Quarter Club on November 13th between the midnight and 2 o'clock in the morning. She said Madison Mogen and Kaylee Goncalves were also at the Corner Club during that time. H said she heard a male was kicked out of the bar because he was acting creeping towards Mogen. I asked H if she had any other details of the male or incident. H said no. H told me to get a hold. I told H to get a hold of me if she had any more information that would be helpful. Selena, thanks for gifting a membership. It went to Ashley. Congratulations, Ashley. Thank you for that. That's the end of that report. On to number 18. Only 292 to go. Roger Lanier, we're going to skim a little faster through some of these. This is on the 14th at 10 o'clock in the morning. Chief Fry, they were conducting the canvass in the neighborhood during the daylight. Started from the rear of the residence and covered the small hill area just behind the residence. Behind there was a small black bag that had obviously been out in the weather for some time. There was nothing in it. We searched up to the parking lot of Queen Road and worked southwest along the hillside below the parking lot. We searched the fenced backyard of Walenta and continued west above King Road. From there, I was joined by Sergeant Gunderson and went through the south side of King Road, around the back, and then back west between King Road and King Road. 2 addresses on King Road. I worked over to Queen Road, going north between them and other addresses. Continues canvassing the area. We walked pathway north to the World War I Memorial Grove and stopped at that point. Returned to the intersection. We met Chief Fry again. They were looking in the shrubbery and around cars parked along the road. At the entrance to the parking lot, I located a black vest laying in the grass next to the fire hydrant. The vest appeared to be weathered with leaves and debris on it. It appeared to have been there for several days. I checked the pockets and examined the vest, but did not find anything of note. As we continued to walk east along the south side of Taylor Avenue, I noted a large amount of trash and various items on the grass in the buildings and the bushes, including various glass and plastic bottles, pipes of various types, Some articles of clothing such as t-shirt and underwear, men's and women's, and various papers and litter. Sounds like a party. All appeared to have been in the area for several days or weeks, and I did not determine any evidentiary value in any of the items I saw. From there, I went south down Linda Lane, walked west between Taylor Avenue and Linda Lane, then north and east of the easternmost building of Queen Road, and then returned back where he started. End of report. I rescued dogs, gifted a membership as well. That one went to Rachel Thomas. Thank you. Next report, a lot of redactions. John Rosinski, this is a name we've heard before. On the 16th, I spoke with KN. Francis Fitzgerald, thank you very much. Hit the like button, everyone. I appreciate that. Thank you. I read better when you click the like button. I make no promises, though. On the 16th, I spoke with KN at the substation, the University of Idaho campus. Asked if she had any special relationship with any of the victims. Kay said she was really good friends with Xana Kernodle and met Xana freshman year. Kay said she was also close friends with Kaylee Goncalves and met her freshman year during the recruitment. Kay said she knew Kaylee the best. I asked if Kaylee hung out or associated with anyone with violent tendencies. Kay said no and expressed she was confused about the incident because what she saw in the news. Kay said Kaylee mainly stuck together with her roommates, Xana, B, F, Madison Mogen, D, and DM. Kay said Kaylee also hung out with the King Girls, which were the following letters. I asked if Kaylee was involved in using illegal substances, and she said just coke, probably. I asked Kay if she saw Kaylee doing cocaine, and Kaylee said no, but she knew Xana was pretty into it. Detective Dean asked if Ethan Chapin, Xana's boyfriend, was into cocaine. Kay said she did not know. Kay said she didn't know if Ethan that well. Detective Dean asked if drugs were being sold from the house or if the drugs were more used for parties. Kay said they were more used but not sold. Detective Dean asked if there were large quantities of drugs at the house or if the house was known as a drug house. Kay said no. I asked Kay if Kaylee ever mentioned about having a stalker or having concerns about anyone. Kay said no. Kay also said Kaylee never mentioned anything to the girls. Kay asked if we saw the Twitch stream. I asked Kay what she saw on the stream, and she mentioned there were two guys. I asked Kay if she recognized the two guys, and Kay said she did not. Kay said her friend, P, O, and G were at the grub truck and saw Kaylee and Madison. Kay said P mentioned the two males were being weird. I asked Kay if she had or anyone recognized anyone from the grub truck stream, and Kay said no. I asked Kay if she was familiar with the fraternity members of blank, and she said yes. So the Twitch stream they're talking about, Twitch, obviously another social media platform, typically for gaming, but you can also live stream over there. And the Grubhub truck, I believe, live streamed on Twitch. I asked Kay if there was anything mentioned why the males were labeled as weird. Kay said she thought one of the males nudged the other male like, oh, those are your girls, go and get them. Kay said that P would be worth talking to because she was there during that time. I asked Kay if P spoke with Kaylee, and Kay said she might have said hi but wasn't sure. Kay also mentioned that ZM hung out with Kaylee and Madison all night at the Corner Club. I asked Kay if any of the victims had any issues with anyone. Kay said that Kaylee was unproblematic and peaceful. Kay said she can't imagine someone with violent tendencies around her. Kay said she felt the same way about Madison. Kay asked if anything, maybe Ethan and Xana. I asked if Ethan and Xana associated with violent people. Kay said this because Kay said that Xana and Ethan were more outgoing and hung out with different friend groups. Detective Zine asked Kaylee if Kaylee or Madison recently had a boyfriend or ex-boyfriend. She said Kaylee dated a guy named Jay for a couple of years, and Kaylee and Jay were high school sweethearts. Kay said that Jay was a really nice person. Kay said she spoke to Kaylee a couple days before the incident, and Kaylee said once she graduated, she was looking for apartments in Texas. Kay said Kaylee met a guy from Texas that is already living in Texas, and they were going to be roommates. I asked Kay if Kaylee and Jay were still together when Kaylee mentioned to her, and Kay said no, that they had already broken up. Kay said that Jay mentioned that Kaylee attempted to call Jay around 3 o'clock, asking if he was up. Kay said she didn't think that Jay replied to Kaylee because he thought it was some type of booty call. Detective Dean asked how they knew that Kaylee attempted to reach out to Jay, and Kay said because Jay told them. Kay said she thought they found out after people were asking Jay if he knew anything about what happened. Detective Dean asked if Madison had a boyfriend, and Kay said yes, and they call him S. Alyssa J., thank you very much. She said that she thought his first name was Jay. Kay said they were still together. Kay said she does not think they had any problems, and S was a good guy. Detective Dean asked what he looked like, and Kay said S was short, maybe 5'7", and balding. Kay said he had brown hair, was skinny. Kay thought he lived in Coeur d'Alene. Kay said B was Madison's little. Kay said Kaylee and Madison were the closest out of all the roommates. Detective Dean asked if D had a boyfriend. Kay said yes. Kay said his name is QK and lived in Boise. Kay said that Q was nice and hardworking. Kay said Q had epilepsy and was not a violent person. Kay said she was not aware of any issues between the roommates. I asked if Kaylee hung out with any other males. Kay said Kaylee was talking to a guy named MB, who was a member of blank. Kay said they had a sexual relationship and would hook up here and there. Kay described M to be over 6 feet, brunette, medium build. Kay said he was serving as vice president to blank. I asked Kay if there was anyone else Kaylee spent time with, and Kay said no, unless Kaylee met someone at the bar at that night. Kay did not know if Kaylee met anyone in particular, but heard a male got kicked out for being creepy towards Madison. Kay said J or Z could probably have more info because they were also at the bar. Kay said the last time she spoke to Kaylee was about 1,700 hours on the 13th. Kay said Kaylee showed up with all of Kaylee's roommates at her apartment, the Whites, sometime between 2:30 and 3 o'clock. Kay said they left sometime between 5 and 6 p.m. I told Kay I was aware of the social media post of all the roommates pictured together, and Kay said that was at her apartment. That's the picture we've seen that was shown today with them all together across the street. I asked Kay if she has been over to Kaylee's house before. I asked if people usually use the Wi-Fi, and Kay was unsure. Kay said they usually leave their doors unlocked, and everyone knows it's a blank out. It's a blank out of house. I asked why Kaylee lived in a house with a different sorority, and Kay said that Kaylee and Madison have been best friends for several years and spoke about living with each other. Kay said that Kaylee was still close with her freshman-sophomore friend group. I asked Kay if she was aware of any cameras in the area, and Kay said no, but Detective Dean asked Kay if she saw anyone in the area that seemed out of place, and Kay said she thought that while she was at her apartment, and does not remember who, but said somebody mentioned about a random kid carrying a BB gun, but no one thought anything of it. Kay said she has reached out to B on the 13th after the incident, but she did not reply. Kay said maybe EA has reached out but was unsure. I asked if anyone reached out to D or B or K, and Kay said maybe E and A. I concluded my interview. Lots of letters. That was a big one. This one a little bit smaller. Aaron Morris on the 17th at 2:30 p.m. responded to University of Idaho Kibbe Dome to interview J.N. Captain Barrett stated N possibly had information regarding to the homicide. They went to a conference room. N stated on Sunday the 13th between 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning, he was walking his dog. He stated when he walked by the first time, he noticed the front door to 1122 King Road on the north side of the building facing campus was wide open. He stated he knew it was a party house, so he assumed someone was too intoxicated and forgot to close the door that night. And stated he walked his dog up Taylor Avenue to Blake Avenue and then down Sweet Avenue. He said the walk took him approximately 1 hour, and stated when he walked back to his apartment around 1100 hours, the front door was still wide open, and said he was unsure if the information was known or not, but thought he should report it. He didn't know anyone personally, and that concluded the interview. Wow. Wow. Lawrence Mowry. Another report. This is dated the 16th of November, a couple days later. I applied for and was granted the following warrants for the cell phone providers serving the area around 1122 Kings Road. AT&T, blank. We blank out their address. It's their business address. We've got the GPS coordinates, which are blanked out. They've got a half-mile radius. This is a blanket search where they get all the active cell phones in that area. The warrant was served at 10:09 hours via email. And there's the wireless number. We've got, for the AT&T call detail records for the following phone accounts, they got these numbers. The warrant was served at 9:22 via email. Verizon Wireless, we've got also numbers blanked out. T-Mobile, a couple numbers were requested there as well and were served. There's the T-Mobile. And Inland Cellular for a tower dump of all records and unique device user identifiers pertaining to timing advance real-time tool. location database and record, location information during the following listed dates, times, and geographical boundaries, and distance from GPS points. These are the scary requests. Show me every phone and where they were at a time in the past in this area. They can do it. they just did it there. Virginia, thank you very much. We're running a little late tonight, but we're going to see what we can get through here as we're done with that. We're already on document number 23. So you received a call from SG. Obviously, this is the blank of Kaylee Goncalves. This is probably the father. He stated he had access to some of Kaylee's messages and phone calls. S stated that is this Scott or Steve? I can't remember. Is it Scott? That she would have blank A contact me about those files. I was able to speak with A, and she sent me various files, including an image from the spokesman review showing a camera of a nearby residence. This is the family doing detective work. The families just banded together and went all out on this. Showing a camera of a nearby residence, text messages between Kaylee and JD, text messages between Kaylee and her Uber driver, a recent phone call list, and a video from the Grub Truck's Twitch.tv feed. I attached these files to the case. The communication between Kaylee and D was located on D's phone examination. The Twitch feed was previously downloaded. In the image showing the camera, it was found that the residence was at blank King Road. The SD card from the camera was brought to the Moscow Police Department, but the file system of the card was not recognized by any of the forensic computers. The card was returned to the owner and reinstalled into the camera. And they just left it. There are things you can do. If he's got the camera system, you can get it directly from the camera. On November 17th, here we go. They recontacted the owner of the camera via phone. He stated she was out of town, but sent a video to Officer Rosinski showing a figure walk to the dumpster and appear to look inside. To preserve any potential evidence of the camera, I asked if we could seize the entire device, including the SD card, which she stated yes. She stated she would not be back in Moscow until November 28th. I directed to contact me when she returns to her residence, at which time I will attempt to connect the camera back to her Wi-Fi router and view video from the device. So they took the whole camera right then, just to keep it from losing anything. Can we steal your video camera, your security camera? Yes, go ahead. All right, Lawrence Mowry, one more here. This is on the 18th. Got an email showing a screenshot of a Facebook post. In the post, the account, the username, reported details about the incident. I searched for this user and found a user ID of blank. This account had an avatar similar to the M avatar. I was able to pull up the account and appeared to have the following friends associated with it. LM. I requested preservation on all 4 of these accounts. At approximately 7:45 hours, I received an email from Facebook stating the accounts were preserved. So search warrant not needed. Facebook just complied, I guess. On the 13th, I was informed of 2 victims. The 2 of the victims had been patrons at the Grub Truck, and we also informed about the live feed on Twitch. I was able to locate the account Grub Truckers and locate the stream. Here's the name of the file. There's the link to it in the video. Kaylee and Maddie were seen walking into camera view at 3:43. They were accompanied by a male, later identified as JJ. Goncalves orders food and receives it. At 3:53, the girls are seen walking around the truck and leave the area. S appears to be talking to another patron, and does not see the girls leave. S then raises his arms in a what fashion and walks away in a different direction than the girls. I'm sorry. The details here, that is wild. It was like the girls just ditched him. He's like, what am I? On the 18th, I was asked to conduct follow-up. SB, I was told B was contacted on the 17th by Moscow Police Department and Idaho State Police officers. I was asked to watch video from 1,200 hours to 1,300 hours to see B movements during the homicide. On the 12th, B left his dorm room at 12:05. He was wearing a black long-sleeve shirt and black sweats. At 12:53 hours, B returned. At 15:03 hours, B left again wearing a black beanie, black gloves, and a white jacket. At 19:48 hours, he returned to the dorm without the beanie, gloves, and jacket, but left again at 19:52 hours with a backpack. B was gone until the 13th at 12:25 hours. Then he returned to the dorm. I reported the information to the Idaho State Police. Lawrence Mowry. On the 18th, I logged into Uber law enforcement portal. Hey, law enforcement portal. I didn't know you could do that. Can we get access? And submitted an exigent preservation request for any location data associated with a Uber driver named E.G. with the phone number of blank. Due to the nature of the investigation, Uber recommended an exigency. I can't say the word. Exigency. Will somebody say that for me? Thank you. Request for the preservation. In a screenshot received from AG, it showed messages which appear, it means urgent. It's expedient and urgent that it has to happen fast. So we don't have time for a search warrant. I need you to save this before it gets lost. It showed messages which appear to be from G, phone between Kaylee Goncalves and himself. The name of the recipient is Kaylee Uber. It is unknown if G was on duty with the Uber at the time of him picking up Goncalves and Maddie Mogen. Uber stated if the driver was on duty, it would show the location of the vehicle. If the driver was not on duty, Uber would not have the data. I was informed by Uber customer service this is common if driver provides personal transportation services. That's when they sit on the side of the road with the light on, but they're not actually driving for Uber. Is that it? Okay. It is unknown if G was on duty. We got that at 34 hours. I received an email from Uber stating they received my request. I received an email at 17 hours from Uber, which contained files containing the Uber logs of EG. The record showed its location up until approximately 1:15 hours, where it appears no other information is found, and G goes off duty. These records were attached to the case file. No warrant was requested or returned as Uber provided the data via our request. One from Lawrence Mowry again. This is a list of, I just contacted Detective Neil Urig of the Post Falls Police Department for assistance in examining laptops and iPad located at the residence of the King Road. And they got 4 Apple laptops, 2 Dell laptops, and 1 Apple iPad. And those were taken into custody to be examined. Those belong to the residents. Lawrence Mowry again. On the 13th, I was informed of possible surveillance camera located at King Road. Corporal Ryan Snyder had spoken with one of the residents at this location, PO, who had a camera using a HomeEye Pro app on the porch of their dwelling. Corporal Snyder provided me with the username and password for the account associated with their house. I asked Corporal Snyder if this video was stored on a cloud-based system for me to view or if blank could download a copy of the video. I was provided a 32-gigabyte SD card from the camera, but the file format was not recognized by any of the forensic computers and prompted me to format the disk. Oh, don't do that. Corporal Snyder informed me O could screen capture the video from her phone, and the card was returned to O to enable her to assist in the acquisition of the data. When it says format the disk, there's no saving it. It's basically you're writing over everything and making it blank. Hope he didn't do that. I requested assistance on the 17th. This is the same thing, but it shows somebody walking by the camera at 3:20 towards the dumpster. This means newer data overwrite, so I was concerned data may be lost, and because of this, he says, I want the whole camera. We're going to skip through this. While attempting to view the data on the card, I received a forward email from Owen, the sister, resides at the residence, stated that she was viewing the video remotely when Officer Morris removed the camera. He stated he saw a suspicious vehicle in the area and was concerned with the video footage stored on the device being overwritten. This is just saving the entire camera, reinstalling it. We're going to skip through that. Put all the videos on a DVD. Next up, A. Dollinger. On the 19th at noon, met with Detective Mowry, downloaded surveillance from multiple, which contained USB memory drives collected from multiple different investigators. They downloaded all the video from all the drives and placed them on an external hard drive, which he provided. Once that task was complete, Detective Mowry asked me to copy all the videos from the portable hard drive to the M drive of our City of Moscow network, where he created a folder where working copies of the videos could be stored. After downloading the videos from individual memory drives, I placed them back into the manila envelopes they came from and sealed them with evidence tape. I did find 2 of the USB memory drives, which came from the same envelope, did not contain any video footage, and I returned them to Detective Mowry. Once all the videos were downloaded to the portable hard drive, I then copied them all to the M drive on the city network and returned the hard drive to Detective Mowry. So we already had some lost video, even in the early days, with drives that did not have anything when they were expected to. John Rosinski then on the 15th at 1:48 p.m. spoke with P.O. on the phone. She was a member of the sorority. P is currently a junior at the University of Idaho. P said she was not aware of anyone that Kaylee associated with that had violent tendencies. P said she was not aware if Kaylee would be involved in drugs in any way. P said she knew people party with drugs, but doesn't know if Kaylee or any of her other roommates be involved in drugs. P said she did not know if drugs were being sold from the residence. P said she was at a party earlier in the day at a friend's apartment at the Whites across the street, I think. P said at the apartment she saw Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan. P said they were all just hanging out and there were other people there as well. P said there was nobody of concern at the apartment and everyone present was a familiar person. P said she last saw Kaylee at the grub truck. She arrived after Kaylee and said Kaylee was there with Madison Mogen. P said Kaylee's demeanor was good and they struck up a conversation. P said Kaylee seemed really happy and that Kaylee and Madison were laughing. P said she did not have a conversation with Madison and only Kaylee. P said they did not mention what their plans were after the grub truck. P said that Kaylee and Madison seemed a little intoxicated but believed they came from the club. P said Kaylee seemed coherent and was not stumbling or slurring her words. P did not know if Kaylee or Madison showed up to the grub truck with anyone. P said that she later watched the Twitch video and it appeared someone showed up with Kaylee and Madison, but she did not recognize the individual. P said her friends did not either. P said after Kaylee got her food, she saw Kaylee and Madison walk in the direction of campus. P did not see anyone follow them. P mentioned that she saw the grub truck video, someone walking in the same direction. P said she heard that there was someone concerning at the corner club. P said she heard the individual was being creepy towards Madison and was kicked out. P was not aware of any other males that Kaylee spent time with. P said that she knew that Kaylee had an ex-boyfriend that went to UI, but she understood that they were on good terms. P said she knew Madison had a boyfriend that graduated from UI. P did not know his name. P did not know of anyone that Ethan and Xana hung out with. P said she wished she had more to share, thanked P for her time, and concluded the interview. 10th of the way through, here we go. Number 31. Oh, we're too full. Can't open anymore. Come on. There we go. Sorry. So many little buttons to click. Why is it doing this? These are the ones we've read. 28, 29, 30. Here's 31. All right. Danny Vargas gives this report. Transporting elected devices to Post Falls PD in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Kimbers, Ohio gifted a membership. Thank you. Congratulations, Space Dude. Kimbers bought you a membership. Thank you, Kimbers. So he drives 4 cell phones belonging to Goncalves, Mogen, Kernodle, and Chapin to the Coeur d'Alene PD and gave them to Detective Dustin Taylor at approximately 7 o'clock in the morning. And on the 17th at 12:49, picked up the cell phones for Detective Taylor and brought them back to MPD and gave them back to Detective Mowry. On the 21st, I transported the phones belonging to Chapin, Mogen, Kernodle, and to Chapin, Mogen, and Kernodle. So he missed Goncalves to CDA PD and dropped them off with Detective Jesse Welch at approximately 1100. And on the 21st, I transported 2 separate charging cords belonging to electronic devices to Post Falls PD and dropped them off with Detective Brad Johnson. So they needed the charging cords. Apparently, police don't have spare cords. Detective Vargas, this looks like he attended 4. Oh, my goodness. All right. Spokane County Medical Examiner autopsies on November 16th at 07:45. Latah County Coroner Kathy Mabott and I attended the 4 autopsies for Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogen, and Kaylee Goncalves at the Spokane County Medical Examiner's office in Spokane, Washington. The 4 autopsies were all performed by Dr. V.S., whose name was blacked out because apparently we just block out names. Gary Tollison, a detective with ISP, observed 3 of the autopsies, Kernodle, Mogen, and Goncalves, as he arrived after the autopsy for Chapin was performed. During the autopsies, the following items were collected for Kaylee Goncalves: DNA, hand swabs, wrist swabs, forearm swabs, foot swabs, ankle swabs, anal swabs, oral swabs, vaginal swabs, head hair, nail clippings, neck swabs, handbags, T-shirt, the Corner Club, nasty and inebriated, black pants, Joe Boxer gray and black flannel, silver earring, sock, white Adidas, and SD photo card, autopsy photos. This is a standard. Collection of information. I know it's very clinical and detailed, but basically they don't know what happened, and anything they don't test now, there could be something. So if they don't test for, say, SA during this point, they could lose valuable evidence. So that was all done. The same was done for Madison Mogen, with all the same. With the exception of there were some false eyelashes, and hair tie, and some silver rings. Handbags. Not sure about that. Xana Kernodle, the same things were collected. We had trace evidence on the left hand and trace evidence from the body bag as well that was collected. I'm not sure what that's referring to. DNA, everything else, swabs, hair samples, socks, all the clothing that they were wearing. All the above items listed were released to me by KS on the 16th. Allison, thank you very much. I appreciate your generosity. As part of the autopsies, major crime prints were taken from each of the victim by the Spokane County Forensic Unit. The Chapin's prints were taken on the 16th and released to me. Kernodle's prints were taken. Mogen's and Goncalves' prints were both taken on the 17th in the morning and were left at the Spokane County Medical Examiner's office. I responded to Spokane and collected the prints. Then we have the major crime prints have taken the following. Those are the prints, the feet, the hands. They got at the conclusion of the 4 autopsies. They met with Dr. V, and she told us the following: Ethan Chapin's fatal injury was from a stab wound under his left clavicle, which severed his subclavian vein and subclavian artery, and also his jugular vein was severed. Jugular's the throat, clavicles lower in the shoulder area, I believe. Ethan only had sharp force injuries. Xana Kernodle's fatal injuries were from 1 laceration in her right lung and 2 lacerations in her heart. Kernodle had 50-plus stab wounds, mostly defensive. Xana only had sharp force injuries. She fought him. 50 defensive stab wounds. Madison Mogen's fatal injuries included a left lung laceration and a liver laceration. Madison only had sharp force injuries. Kaylee Goncalves' fatal injuries included a left lung laceration, a liver laceration, 2 subdural bleeds, a stab behind her clavicle which cut her subclavian vein and artery. Kaylee had signs of sharp force injuries, asphyxial injuries, and blunt force injuries. Kaylee had 20-plus stab wounds. Dr. S said the weapon used was not serrated, single-edged, very sharp, and said a lot of force was used by the suspect. I will be uploading Dr. S' final autopsy reports to the case file when they are completed. That means that it was very much like this, only it would have been obviously metal instead of plastic. It would have a single sharp edge along the bottom. The curved portion is sharp. The top part is not sharp, although the tip is. Not serrated along the top. They know that because the side of the wound that is is smooth instead of cut down, sharp, is not torn from the knife being removed. But this would definitely be able to cause every one of the injuries they listed there. On November 16th, at approximately 1955, I drove from Spokane Medical Examiner's office to the FBI office and met with Special Agent Bryan Gunnerson. Several of the clothing items collected during the autopsies were still wet and needed to dry in evidence dryers overnight. Placed the following items in 2 separate dryers in their evidence room and I released the items to S.A. Gunderson. And the things that were dropped off were handbags, T-shirt, pants, sock, shorts, or short-sleeve shirt. And they're listed by each individual: the underwear, the foot bag, the handbags, the sweatshirts, the socks for Ethan. I transported the remainder of the evidence items back to MPD and placed them in the evidence fridge in the MPD evidence room. On November 17th in the morning, I drove to the FBI office located at, we black out the address, and met with Special Agent Bryan Gunnerson. I removed the items from the dryer and packed them. Also collected 2 additional items from Gunnerson: a bag which contained the drop sheet, filter, and security tag from the dryer 1, and a bag which contained the drop sheet, filter, and security tag from dryer number 2. This is in case any evidence from the dryer, any evidence gets blown off the evidence while it's being dried, it gets captured in the filter. So it's very thorough work here. All the items were collected from the autopsies and put into MPD evidence. Okay. Amber, do you want to call real quick? I know you're digging through these documents. Amber is a true document hound, and she's tearing through these faster than I can read. If there's an area we need to jump to get to the details we're looking for, because this has everything that's both relevant and irrelevant to the case, basically every report that's filed. Let's see, 1121, this is Tyson Barrett. Here's Amber on the phone, just 1 second. Amber, how are you doing?
My brain is on overdrive. How are you doing?
Doing great. Amber is owner-operator of the Discord page that has all these documents if you want to view them. I know you're tearing through these documents. You said something about 136 has information about BK Cell. Is that the next place we need to go, or are you just jumping around looking at stuff?
I'm trying to kind of look ahead of what folder you're in to see if there's anything of significant interest that we can really jump to. That 136 would be a good one. You've already gone through the autopsy one. You're coming up on a lot of repetitive stuff. 42 was the original statement from Dylan Mortensen, one of the surviving roommates.
Is that one we had?
A lot of this is procedural.
Let's see. This is 42. I've got pulled up right here. This is Lawrence Mowry. This is DM, interviewed regarding the homicide. Let me read this one, and then is there anything else in this batch? Because we only go up to 50 in this batch.
Right.
Okay.
In that particular batch, no, I think you're okay.
All right. Let me read this, and I'll watch chat for the next number to jump to. All right.
Okie doke.
Thanks, Amber. Appreciate your help.
No problem.
Bye. We've got this report on November 13th. I was directed to interview a potential witness in regards to the incidents. This is DM. Was interviewed in regard to the homicide investigation at 1112 King Road. D said she was a resident of the house where the incident occurred. D said she was at a blank party at around 10:30 hours on the 12th where she was drinking. D said she went to blank house, I think it's the White House. D said she believed she arrived home between 12:30 and 1 o'clock in the morning on the 13th. D said she thought B arrived home at around 20 minutes after she arrived. D said she believed Maddie and Kaylee arrived home at around 1:30 or 2 o'clock on the 13th. D said up to this morning, nothing weird had happened during the night. D said that she and her friend L came home, followed by B from blank. D said that L lived at the blank house and B was her roommate at the residence. D said that Maddy Mogen and Kaylee Goncalves came home from the corner club at the same time and everyone went to bed. D was asked about the layout of her house. D said that Kaylee's room was directly above her room. D said she lived on the second floor and Kaylee lived on the third floor. D said Kaylee and Maddie both live upstairs on the 3rd floor in separate rooms. D said Xana lived closest to the bathroom on the 2nd floor, and B lived on the 1st floor. When asked about Murphy, D said it was a dog owned in common between Kaylee and her ex-boyfriend, Jay. D said there were no apparent issues between Kaylee and Jay. D said that Maddie and her boyfriend, named Jay S., who was in Boise at the time of the incident. D indicated Xana was dating Ethan Chapin, who was in the room with her at the time of the incident. D did not know if anyone would want to hurt Ethan. When she was asked, D was asked if she saw any cars in the area that should not be there. D said, no, I was not really looking at that. D said she woke up at around 4 o'clock in the morning on the 13th where she could hear Kaylee and Murphy, the dog, dancing. D said she knew it was Kaylee because she recognized her voice and could hear Murphy barking. D said she heard Kaylee go upstairs and say, there is someone here. D said she thought she heard Kaylee run back down the stairs. D said Kaylee sounded scared when she made this statement. D said at this time she jumped up, locked the door because she did not know what else to do. D said she called out Kaylee's name and did not indicate if she got a response. D said she then tried to call Kaylee, Xana, and Maddie on their phones. D was asked if she saw anyone come down the stairs or heard anything. D said, no, I don't even know how they got in. We're usually pretty good about locking doors and never had problems before. I was just really random. When asked again about the series of events, D said she opened the door when she called out to Kaylee, then closed the door because she was scared. D said she then opened the door again and heard who she thought was Kaylee, but could have been Xana, crying in the bathroom. D said she then heard a man's voice say, it's okay, I'm going to help you. D said it was weird because the statement was not in a nice way, and the voice was one she had never heard before. D said she called out to Kaylee again, and there was no crying after she did not know what happened, and she did not know what happened after that. D said she opened the door again, and the guy is right there. D described the male as approximately her height, 5'10", or a few inches taller, not skinny but athletic build. D said the suspect was wearing all black with masks that covered just his forehead and goes around his face. D showed her hands with the mask exposed, but his nose but covered the mouth area. D said she believed the suspect was white, but did not remember eyebrow color or what his eyes looked like. D said she saw the suspect, he saw her, and just left. D said she believed he was holding something near his stomach or belt line. D used both hands to point straight out from her abdomen. D then moved her hands apart and back together to simulate a bulge. D said this area was black in color, and she thought now maybe it was a gun. D said the unknown object had an arrow shape. D seemed really unsure and said she was tired during the event. D was asked how long she believed it was from the time Kaylee said someone is here to when she saw the suspect. D said she thought it was about 10 or 20 minutes. D went on to say she was in and out of it and she did not fully remember the incident. D was asked where the suspect was in the residence when D saw him. D said the suspect was between her bedroom door and the kitchen. D said she remembered watching the suspect go out the kitchen door and leave. D said this time she closed her door and locked it as fast as she could. D said the suspect did not walk toward her or say anything. D said once the suspect left, she immediately called B. D said B informed her she heard a sound that sounded like a firework. D then said she told B she called everyone and they were not answering. D said she was in and out of it and believed everyone was just asleep. D said she then went to B room, locked the door, and went to bed. D said she woke up at around 11 or 1200 hours and called her roommates and no one answered. D said she called H. H came to the residence, went upstairs, and told D they needed to call law enforcement immediately. D was asked if there was anything else she wanted to share. D said if the noise, B described the noise as a loud boom, but D did not hear it. D was asked if any of her roommates shared any weird experiences in the last couple of weeks, or calls or texts. D said no, it's been all normal, nothing weird at all. Nothing really weird happens in Moscow usually. When asked if there were any altercations at the party, D said no, everything was normal. D mentioned again that she was with D and Xana at the party. D was asked if anyone was having sexual relations with anyone they shouldn't be. D said no. D brought up an incident which occurred a month prior. D said she and B remembered Kaylee saw a shadow while she was taking Murphy outside. D said Kaylee also mentioned when she was at blank 2 or 3 weeks prior, an individual was following her. D also said she arrived home at one time and the door to the residence was found open. D said she did not believe the slider door was locked the night of the 12th. D said she did hear Murphy barking a lot around 4 o'clock in the morning when Kaylee went upstairs. D said she heard Murphy go outside barking as well. D was unsure if Murphy would chase the suspect outside. D said she did not remember if the suspect who ran left the slider door open. Interview number 2. H said around 1200 hours on the 13th, D called E, H's girlfriend. D told E she thought, I think I'm getting this right, there's a lot redacted. D told E she thought something was not right in her house. D also told E she heard or saw a man in her house the night prior. D also asked E and H to come over and make sure everything was okay because she locked herself in B room. H said he was the first person to get to the residence. H said he entered the code to the front door where B and D were in B room on the first floor. D and B were telling H they did not know what was going on. H said they went upstairs. They went up the stairs and immediately went to Xana's room. H said this was the only room he went into. H said when he approached the door, it was only partially open. H said when he opened it, he saw Xana and Ethan. He said initially he did not realize all the blood was dried blood in the room. H said he thought at first they had been drunk and left a mess. H said when he stood there for a moment, he began to realize what he was seeing. H said B and D were uncontrollably crying. H said he told them to get out of the house and call law enforcement. H said he then went to the kitchen and grabbed a knife from the drawer. H said he then went to the room and checked the closet to make sure there was not anyone else in the room. H said he checked for a pulse on both Xana and Ethan. H said both of their bodies had rigor mortis and were cold with no breath or pulse. H said he believed the two had been deceased for a while. H said he believed he left the knife on the folding table in the living room. H said E, J, and L started to enter the house and come up the stairs. H told them to get out of the residence. H said this was the time the Moscow PD arrived at the scene. H said the officer told him to stay where he was at. H said he did not know if anyone else was upstairs as he had not gone anywhere else in the house. H said he had trouble comprehending what he was seeing. H said he was not at the blank party the night prior. And H said he and Ethan were texting the night prior on the 12th by phone. H said Ethan wanted him to come over, but H chose not to. H said he knew Ethan since fall of 2021. H said he was in blank, and Ethan was a member of blank, 2 different sororities. H indicated J and H were in the same sorority and were roommates. H said, is it fraternity? I'm mixing those up. H said L, who was also present, was in the fraternity at blank and was currently dating J. H said he and L stayed at J apartment with E and J the night of the 12th. H was asked when was the last time he was at 1122 King Road. H indicated he was last at the residence on the 12th, where he was pre-gaming for the Vandals football game. H said he got to the residence around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, or 1, and left about 2:30 to go to a different party. H said the last time last time E was at 1122 King Road was Friday on the 11th. He did not know of anyone who had issues with E and Xana dating. H estimated Xana and Ethan were dating for 8 months. H said he knew Xana very well through his girlfriend. He said that he was not very familiar with Maddie or Kaylee. He allowed pictures to be taken of his phone and the conversations between him and Ethan. Third interview. J said she texted E at 11:20 the morning of the 13th and asked B if she was awake. J said B called her back at 11:49. B told J that she and D were in B room. J said B was freaked out because her roommates were not answering the phone. She said she heard D on the phone in the background saying, "I saw something." J said B asked her to come over to the 1122 King Road and pick her up. J said B texted her while she was driving there, and E and H were on the way as well. J said as she arrived, MPD units were arriving as well. J said she did not go to the blank party, but went to a different one instead. J said B and D came to this party after she left blank. J estimated D left her party at about 30 minutes after midnight, and B left her party at about 1 o'clock in the morning on the 13th. J said she was in blank with D, L, B, and Xana. J said Xana and Maddie were both in blank but dropped out, and Kaylee was in blank but dropped out as well. J suspected the girls dropped out their respective sororities because of the issues with other girls in the house. Jay specifically cited girls on the executive board who tell other members what to do. Jay suspected this was what they did not like. Jay confirmed she, L, B, and D were still active members in blank. Jay said the girls who were still active members of the sorority who chose not to live in the house did so because of money issues. Jay said Maddie was B, big sister in the sorority house. Jay said she knew Kaylee saw a dark figure staring at her from the tree line when she took her dog Murphy out to pee. Jay said this occurred about a month ago at 1122 King Road. Jay said there had been light-hearted talk and jokes made about a stalker in the past. Jay said all the girls were slightly nervous about it being a fact, though. Jay did not indicate any social media issues or issues between the girls who lived together. Jay said there was no issue with girls from the blank sorority and the residents at 1122 King Road. Jay said the front door had issues with locking and sometimes it could be opened without a code. Jay said she did know the code to the front door. Jay said she was unaware if the residents kept the back sliding door locked regularly. Interview number 4. Final interview. L said he did not go to the party. L said he went to sleep at 8 p.m. on the 12th at J apartment on Taylor Avenue. L said he woke up around 2 or 3 in the morning and said he, J, and E were up talking in the living room in the apartment until about 5 o'clock in the morning. L indicated H was present but not awake during this time. L said they all went to bed at this time and woke up again around what he thought was 9 o'clock in the morning. L said H and E came into the house where he and J were. L said D had called E around 10 o'clock and sounded scared. L said D told E someone had been in their house that last night. He said B ran downstairs and locked themselves in a room. D informed them that she did this because of her seeing someone in the house, and D could only see his nose and chin. L said D was freaking out and wanted them to come over to the house. L said as he walked with Ethan, I keep saying Ethan, I apologize. As he walked with J to 1122 King Road from J's apartment on Taylor Avenue, B walked out of the house crying. H arrived at the residence first because he left before them, and he said he went into the downstairs door, and H told him not to come up the stairs. L said he did not know Ethan very well. L said he did not recall any talk between Xana and Jay about boy issues. L said he did not see anything on social media. L recalled an incident from about a month prior where D said there was a guy stalking her. L said he did not hear anything from the night prior. Interviews were video recorded and have been uploaded to the case file. Wow. Believe it or not, it's getting late. Holy cow. That concludes the first folder of 8 folders of evidence. These are just the redacted ones, not even the sealed stuff yet. This is just the reports that we have not seen much of. Dr. G has dropped his analysis on BK. Oh, that's awesome. I think we're going to be done for today. I think if I read much more, you won't get anything out of it, and neither will I. But I'm going to still be perusing this. I know Amber, who's our document hound and runs as the gavel drops on Discord, has loaded these or has them. Will soon have them all available if they aren't already on the Discord page, and we're going to find the ones that contain the most information, that give us the most light into what's happened as far as the events that the family just barely found out about just shortly before they gave their victim impact statements themselves. Some of these facts were not even known to them. So, all right. They're already available on Discord, and I'll send you a list of shortcut doc numbers. Thank you very much. We'll look at that tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow we're going to pick up where we left off in this Neely hearing. We expect that to come to an end and enter jury deliberation time for the sentence tomorrow. So we're going to do probably start an early start to that. And the Moscow PD site has crashed. They might be able to have it up by now. Let's see if we can get a response. Their website's not responding. So join Discord if you want the documents. Glad we could get them for you, Amber. Thank you for tearing through them. And with that, we'll play some music. We do have if we do a Discord link one more time, that would be great in chat for a couple people who still need it, who still want to peruse these. Josh Hutchings just gifted 5 memberships. I apologize. I've not been looking at chat. I think I might have missed a few comments. I know I have. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you, Allie. Thank you, Raina. Tickled Pink Music, thank you as well. Ashley Sissel, thank you very much. Selena K, I Rescue Dogs. Francis Fitzgerald. Alyssa J, Virginia Little. Kimbers, Ohio. Allison. Josh Hutchings comes in the 5 at the end there as well. Thank you all for your support. That's what makes it possible. I appreciate every one of you. Tonight, when you go home, please hug the people you love. Smile at someone. Make their day just a little bit better. Please stay safe till we go live again tomorrow morning, where we should get the conclusion of the Neely hearing. We've got a lot to catch up on. We're about 2 hours behind, so we'll speed through it, you guys. Who is Dr. G? Do we have a link to Dr. G? I think we've got a link to Dr. G. Dr. G is a behavioral analyst, just a good guy, all-around good guy. He does good stuff. There's the link. It's coming. Wait for it. There it is. There's the link to Dr. G. I'm going to go check it out right now, see what he has to say about BK in this final hearing. You guys have a good night. Be good to each other. We'll see you in the morning. Bye-bye.